Yeah. All right. Welcome to the No Name Podcast.
We got to come up with a name.
I know we do, and I'm terrible at it because I don't really care. I don't care what the name of the thing is. Like Project Power, when I first started it, I was probably 7 months in before I actually picked out a name.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't give a shit what the name was. It didn't matter.
Well, the good news is that no matter what name you pick, there's going to be another show with
well,
that name.
no, that's maybe. Yeah. No. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
No.
For sure.
Well, if we just name it my name, the Pietrzak Show. Yeah.
That's
Find
how you
another
say your
one of
last
those. That's
name.
my. Did you never know how to say my last name?
No, I always avoided saying it.
Bartek Bogusław Pietrzak. That's my name.
Bless you.
Don't wear it out. Welcome to this show with first-timer, newcomer, Julia.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Great.
Great.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming here. You posed a badass question because you avidly watch the show and you have great remarks about it. And then you posed the question. And I'm like, we haven't talked about that. And it's a great question because I don't think I've ever actually had a conversation about it. So I thought, what better way to do it than to do it live for everyone to hear and let them know what we think about things. And so before we do that, click the buttons on the internets with the subscribing and the liking and the commenting and the telling of the friends and such. I am Bart Pietrzak, Bart Bogusław Pietrzak, owner, CEO of Project Power Gym that you see behind us here. Julia is the fantastic organizer of the front desk, heart and soul of the gym. So not just some random person we picked out of the forest.
No, they didn't find me on the street.
No, not on the street. In the gym, actually.
Yeah.
So, Julia, tell the world what do you want to talk about?
So I was at a Christmas party.
Okay.
And we were talking about, if you've ever been to those Christmas parties, like with family or like friends, and they're always like, so, like, who you dating?
Oh, who you dating?
That question.
Okay.
And you're like, no one.
Okay.
Like,
single?
Yeah, here are the reasons why. And someone was like, well, the reasons what you're saying is because you're too far into your masculine energy. And I was like, my what?
Oh.
So then I started researching it, and there's masculine and feminine energies.
Yes.
And you can have both.
Okay.
And
Okay, so run me through that process. So family member says, why aren't you dating? You explain the reasons why, whichever those may be. And they remarked by saying those things that you just said, dictating that you have too much masculine energy, which is why they're implying that no one wants to date you? Or
it's more like why I don't want to date someone.
Because you're too much into the masculine energy.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you heard that, what did you think?
I was like, that sounds so stupid.
What did they say was masculine energy? I'm
It's
interested to hear.
So, like, if a female has too much masculine energy, then they, like, dictate these traits that doesn't allow the male to feed into their masculine energy. So, like, what I have is, like, hyper independence. I'm always striving for a goal, like, too ambitious.
Uh-huh.
And where, like, when you are dating, a guy, you want to feel protected, and you want them to take action and take charge.
Yeah.
And, like, if you have too much masculine energy, then the female does that. So, like, the male, like,
doesn't have a chance to, therefore the male doesn't feel masculine in the relationship.
Yeah.
Or doesn't feel like they have a role or a purpose per se. That's what they're implying with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then I have lots of questions. Okay. We'll get to what I think about this in a bit, but so you thought that was crazy. Okay. But you didn't have any background on it, so you started researching.
Yes.
Okay. So what did the internet tell you?
Pretty much that.
It did. It confirmed that. It confirmed that if you're an independent female who's self-starting and ambitious, that males will have a tough time finding room in your life.
Yeah, like, they're too scared to, like, challenge you.
Okay. Go on.
So, like, when I said that why I wasn't dating someone is because I attract, like, these wimpy guys. Like, they're like, whatever you want. Like,
okay. The nice guys.
You're all
the nice guys.
It goes back to that.
The
it's
nice
like,
guys.
you like if that's what you want, like that's what we can do. Like
and you're not attracted to that.
No.
Why?
I don't like make a decision.
Okay, but why, if you are ambitious and you do like making decisions, right? And you do know what you want to do, why wouldn't someone who wants to appease that be attractive to you? Try it, right? Work it out right now.
I have no idea.
Let's do it together.
I just don't think it's attractive at all.
I know, but why? Because I agree with you. And then obviously you've listened to the shows where I go very in depth with this concept, which I would like to say out there at first. When you first heard my nice guy interpretation, what did you think?
I also thought that was really dumb.
It was dumb, right?
Yeah.
And then you spent 10 minutes thinking about it.
And I was like, that's so true.
Motherfuckers. All right. So why? Tell me, why is it true? Why is it unattractive when there's a dude who basically just wants to cater to you?
I don't know, like when you meet a guy and they're like, oh, like you can, like, I'll give you my number if you want. Or like, maybe like we can go on a date if you want. Like actually, like I want to take you on a date. We're going to do this at this time.
Yeah. And okay. So I'll try to help because I keep trying to. So this is what I think about that. And you tell me if I'm on point or not. Okay. The reason why I think that is the things that you most appreciate within yourself is the times where you take charge. You appreciate when you are ambitious. You have self-value and you enjoy the times where you look into the mirror and go, I went after something I wanted. Even though it was hard, even there was a chance that I might have not gotten it, even though I may have fallen on my face, I'm proud of myself for going after it. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when this dude sees you who he is wanting or going after, and he doesn't exude the same principles that you would exude going after something, you go, that's low value, right? I am proud whenever I have obstacles in my way and I persevere to go through them. And if you really want to date me, you don't show me how badly you want to date me by giving there like a chance for there to not happen. Like if you go, we can go out if you want. That means I don't think of myself as enough of a gift for you to give myself to you. Because if I felt like I was a gift to your life, I'd be like, I'm about to enhance your life because we're going to go to dinner at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And I'm going to give myself to you, right? And I'm a gift, and I'm going to enrich your life. So let's go tomorrow at 7, and I'm going to show you how. Mm-hmm. And you're like, wow, maybe he is a gift. Maybe this is something that's going to enrich my life. But gifts don't come into your life and go, if you'd like to accept me, maybe. If you would do me this service, could you please? Mm-hmm. And people don't like to admit that, but that's the fucking truth, right? Because it's not... I somewhat disagree with like the original concept of like ambitious women aren't going to attract men. Ambitious women, strong-willed women, goal-oriented women aren't going to attract boys. They're going to attract men because men are also ambitious and goal-oriented and all of those things. And again, just like you said to me, I too want the same thing in my partner. I don't want a person that I'm going to spend my life with that I have to drag through every fucking goal and all of the goals be mine. I want to watch you achieve your goals and help you achieve yours as you watch me achieve mine and help me achieve mine. Together, that's a team. That's badass, right? Mm-hmm. But that requires responsibility. That requires... So 1,000%, and we'll break this down, 1,000% there is masculine energy and female energy. 1,000%, 100% agree. However, the connotation that women have to be subdued or weaker or somehow like a damsel in distress in order to attract a male, that's bullshit. And that is 1,000% not the fucking way to go about it. And that's why the internet fucking sucks. That's
There's
insane.
Definitely like a negative connotation around it.
Around what specifically? Around
like the whole subject, like the masculine feminine energies, because it's like I feel like it goes back to like the like olden days where like men are supposed to provide, mm-hmm. and women are supposed to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was, like, when I was reading it, that's kind of what I got out of it.
So nuclear, okay. So this is great because the stay-at-home part is what has a negative connotation. Because we just said a strong, ambitious, goal-oriented woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could a woman's orientation for her goals not be a great nuclear family?
No, definitely.
Right?
I agree.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we've bastardized isn't the fact, I think, because if anything, I think more and more women are being like pushed to careers and making sure they're CEOs of something and that type of stuff. And the negative connotation has fallen onto the nuclear family side, where if she is a stay-at-home quote unquote mom, that somehow she's just, letting the man do all the work and she's not being ambitious and so forth. As if parenting her children is not the greatest fucking job in the world. I'm a parent of a 3-year-old, and I don't think this is as impressive if I teach my 3-year-old daughter values, morals, principles to the highest degree. I put way more weight on that than fucking building a gym for people to exercise in. So the negative connotation isn't that females should be weak or females shouldn't have goals, but what we need to re-emphasize is the goals of having a family and nurturing the family is a worthy goal to have. Mm-hmm. Right? We've bastardized the feminine energy part. I said this a long time ago in one of my posts. I said women teach the world how to love and men teach the world how to survive. And if you can marry those two things together, you'll have a loving, thriving family. So you can have goals as a female. You should have goals. You should have all the same attributes, values, morals, principles, fucking ambitions, everything the same as a man. But your superpower is your ability to empathize, your ability to love and nurture and help understand feelings and direction and work through issues from an emotional side. Like, you have this superpower innately within you, in your DNA, because you're female. Men need help with that, right? On the contrary, females, let's say it's physically or whatever, to physically move dirt all day long, to physically move concrete all day long, to do those, craft type trades, like, a male is designed much more efficiently to do that, right? So if we're going to have a blue-collar worker in this family, I would much rather it be the male who's literally DNA designed to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And if someone needs to listen to the children's emotions and help them understand themselves, I would much rather that be the female because they're naturally designed to do that. Can they switch? Yes, it's all fucking possible. But if you're going to play into your strengths, why not do that, right? And again, I think what you're touching on is the negative connotation that men should be able to do blue collar shit. Like, no one's not saying they shouldn't. But if as a female you are going out of your way to make sure that you do blue collar shit or masculine type shit because the feminine side has been ostracized or talked negatively upon, well, then you're not going to be very happy because you're going to accomplish whatever it is you set out to do, and it's not innately what it is that makes you feel the best about your life, I don't think. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just like anything else, once people kind of see what's happening, they want to like overanalyze and make it like chunk size compartments to follow like the rules.
They just don't have an answer.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like, our societies, we get answers very quickly.
You're right.
All I had to do is type in 2 words, and I got all of these answers.
Yeah.
And so they just want to have an answer of, like, why.
What a great point. Go on.
Well, like, we have social media. We have all of these things. We have Google in our hand.
Yeah.
All you got to do is type in 3 words, and we get these answers. So people naturally just have all the answers. So if you tell them like, oh, like I'm not dating because of these reasons, then they're like, oh, well, here's an answer to why. Like, this is why you're not.
Oh, that's profound. Just like a 24-hour news show has to constantly have something to fucking say, or else they lose the attention. Someone's going to look for an answer. So, like, people want to have the answers to their questions, whether they're right or not. They want to be the first one to the answer.
Or even if it's not a question, they just want to be like, oh, well, even though you're not asking, here's why.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting because that plays on what we've been talking about for weeks is like, it's just talking. It's just a bunch of bullshit, right? It's just fucking vomit all the time, all day long from every fucking source. And every time we get into this, I feel itchy for even doing the show because it's just talking, But what we're here to do is kind of to fuck the talking up, to like get people to not listen to the talking as much and to understand that like nature is normal. Nature is normal. Like, feminine energy is a normal thing to have, and there's nothing like it's a necessity. Like, if we wipe out nature, if we wipe out sections of the fucking way things have been structured, like, bad things are gonna happen. Like, we don't need more men. We have plenty of fucking men. Let the men be the men, and then let the women be the women. But what does that mean? That doesn't mean weakness. Being a woman doesn't mean to be weak. Like, when you let your man provide, like, what do you think that's like means to you? Because I'm sure they told you all these things, like you said, man has to provide and this and that. What did that sound like to you, naturally, without research?
Like, when I hear that, like, I think like they need to, like, this is not what it means to me, but when I hear that, and like I hear like they need to bring in money, they need to like do all these things, but I don't know, I just think that the way of dating and the male and female aspects, like, I think it's changed a lot as time goes on, which I feel like it doesn't need to. All these years it's worked out pretty well.
So I'm intrigued because I've been with the same person for a long fucking time. So this is way before any Tinder or any social media shit, like way before. So real quick, clue me in on two things. Clue me in on how things are now that you're saying that they're changing, and then clue me into what they should go back to or what they changed from. So those two things you just mentioned, can you explain both of them real quick?
What it looks like now, it's
like you're talking to your peers right now. Like, what's the experience for you guys out there right now?
Me and my best friend just had a conversation about this the other day.
Okay.
But it seems like it's like mostly a game. Like, I don't know if it's just me or if I'm in the wrong places, but I feel like even like guys and girls, like, it's really like no one wants to commit anymore. Like, it's all like, oh, like, I like have all these people that are interested in me, but like I'm just gonna lead them on, and like there's no commitment.
Sure.
And then like that's what it needs to go back to, is like you go on dates and like nowadays there always has to be a label. So like before you're like actually like dating, you're like talking.
Okay.
And it's
before or now?
Before you're dating.
Yeah.
You're talking now.
Yeah.
And I think that's
And before that you're texting.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
And before that you're swiping.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this. So it's actually, from what it sounds like you're saying, it actually is the same as it used to be. Because back in the day, people had no fucking clue if you were talking to anybody else because there was no social media. So you were just literally calling people and meeting up with them, right? So if I told you, hey, I'm busy Thursday, I'm going with my buddy, there was no way for you to know that that wasn't what was happening.
It's true.
Right? So You could have 7 girlfriends at the same time, and them finding out about each other was actually a lot less because there was no pictures on social media to prove what you were doing all week long. So that's been always the case. It's just a lot easier now because the communication's faster. I don't have to meet up with the girl anymore. I can just talk to them through my phone. So that, I think that's just a human nature for, dumb dudes and dumb chicks that want to feel better about themselves. They date many, many people at the same time. The second thing that I think has happened now more than it maybe has in the past is like the game or point system of like, how many likes did you get? How many of these do you have? How many posts? How many views? How many this? How many girls at the same time are you talking to? Well, look, I have all these girls I'm talking to. And you can literally like show people now, like scroll, like I have 17 conversations going on at the same time. But I don't believe that social media has created that. All I think it's done is it's
made it more evident.
Yeah, it's just taking the same low lifes and just giving them another platform to be a low life or what have you. So it's the same thing. I've talked to this a couple of my buddies now, where let's say you are strong and you're confident and you're ambitious and you're goal oriented and you don't like to play games. Okay, so you're not in that rigmarole. So your friends are talking to 15 guys, you're talking to no guys. And everyone's like, well, what's wrong, Julia? Why aren't you talking to guys and why aren't you going out on dates and this and that? If you're very clear on who you are and what you believe in and what you want and you're clear on your energy and you're clear on the energy you're looking for, right now it's a bombardment of options, but that doesn't mean that that's a bombardment of closer to the goal options, right? It's going to be a lot more no's before the yeses now, because you have a lot more just no fucking, it's not, you don't have to actually try anymore to try to get a date. I can just message you and you go, no. What a failed date right there. You know what I'm saying? But back in the day, he had to walk up to you, he had to strike a conversation, he had to ask you out. So the threshold to even get into the zone now is nothing compared to what it used to be. So whereas before, during a month, a female would probably say no to 2 guys that had the balls to come up to her, now you're getting dick pics once a fucking day and getting bombarded by messages. And so you're saying no 800 times a week. Now you're like, there's no guys out there. Well, it's because the 2 studs that had the balls to come up to you haven't come up to you yet, but it's still just 2 guys versus the 900 no's now that you do. So the ratio is screwed in your head because you have so many more no's.
It's true.
See what I'm saying? It's the same amount of probability. It's just you're open to the sea of no's now more than you've ever been. Second, though, one of my buddies, he's newly single after many, many, many years of being with the same girl. So last time he was single was way before all this shit was going down. He is as old school as it fucking gets. He's hey, I've seen you at the gym. I think you're very attractive. I'd like to take you out on a date. That dude gets destroyed all the fucking time because every single girl that he talks to, whether it be, because he's in his 40s, so, he's gone from like 29 to 38, like that spectrum of females. And he goes, the moment I put it out there right then, like they all fucking turn and run. And he's a good looking dude. He has a very successful business. He has wealth. Like there would be no reason to even just go try. But he goes, they all need me to slow play. They would much rather give me their Snapchat or some shit and talk through digital first versus trying to figure each other out in person at dinner for the first time.
See, that's crazy to me.
You would, if a dude came up to you, you never seen him before in your life, ever. And he said, hey, I'm Mark. I think you're really attractive. You seem to like the same things I do. I'd like to take you out to dinner tomorrow. Are you free?
100%.
You would?
Yeah. I mean, I would Google him first and make sure he's not a serial killer.
But okay, so what would you say right then and there?
I'd say yeah.
You would?
Yes.
You wouldn't be afraid that this guy's creepo, he's trying to just sleep with you, that he might kill you? None of that?
Mm-mm.
All right, well then you're the next wave. You're the next wave of girls that we need. Because everyone that I've talked to think that's weird. all the girls would be like, no, like that's like too fast, too much, too hard. Like you're doing too much, bro. Like cool your shit. Let's hook up on Instagram first and let's learn about each other before we meet in person.
See, I think that's dumb.
I agree with you.
I think that's
1,000% agree with you. All right, well, I didn't think that you were going to say that. I thought you would be creeped out if a dude just walked up to you right off the bat, willy-nilly.
I mean, if he's...
What if he's not, like, let's say he's a 6 out of 10.
I don't know.
That's the point of the first date. That's the point of the first date is you're like...
But there has to be physical attraction.
No doubt. And that's why I said 6 and not 5 or 4. So 6 means there's at least above baseline attraction. There has to be some. But he's not a home run physically. Let's say he's not like everything you've ever wanted physically. But you don't know anything about him at all.
I'd probably still say yes.
You still would.
Because no guys like ever have the balls to do that.
So you'd be impressed just by the fact he came up and talked to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The other day, I'm being intrusive now. The other day, you and Victoria had a workout that you guys talked to me about what you guys talked about during the workout. Mm-hmm. And at one point, you said,
I know where this is going.
You had to dodge dudes at the bar like grenades.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
They're just wild.
Were they asking you out?
Yeah, but they're just not.
I've
they're
broken.
Drunk. Like they're slurring their words.
Okay.
Like trying to be all touchy and like I don't.
Okay.
Even know your name. Like,
so it's a respect thing, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, right? So
yeah.
if you get. Okay, so like, how are they doing it incorrectly for all you out there that are doing this shit? From the horse's mouth, what don't you do at the bar? Go.
What don't you do at
the
bar?
What deems me a grenade if I do this at the bar to a female?
Like, don't automatically come up to her and like put your arm around her and like.
Right off the bat, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no-go.
Like, no.
I'm not doing that.
Don't do that.
Okay. Anything else? Don't be that drunk that you're slurring your words.
Maybe like don't ask a girl out when you're that drunk.
Okay.
Chances are you won't remember it when you have your planned dinner.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
That's really it.
Okay, so you just don't like drunk people that touch you.
No.
Okay, I don't think that's too hard to understand. But if you're out at the bar and a dude that's not drunk just walks up to you, doesn't touch you, and then says, "Hey, I think you're really attractive. I saw you from across the bar. I think I'd like to take you out to dinner tomorrow. Are you free?"
Maybe.
Now it's a maybe. God damn it! What happened?
You're not gonna find like your person at a bar.
Oh, so why are you there?
I just go with my friends. Like I'm not going to like look for guys, but some people do go.
Okay.
For that.
At the grocery store, you got your shopping cart. You're getting bananas. Some dude walks up to you, taps you on the shoulder. "Hey, I see you here a couple times. This is where I do my groceries. I see you here sometimes, and I think you're really attractive. I'd like to maybe take you out, see if we don't have something in common. All right, when are you free?" How's that?
I'd say yes.
Oh, my God. With bananas? You're buying bananas? That's the story of how I met Dad? I was buying bananas at Schnucks? I say these things because literally I don't think that there's people who think about this shit until it's too late. Like, work that scenario out from both perspectives. As a female and as a male, you have to think about these things as a human being and not as like an impulsive primate with a fucking digital way of connecting to people. Because this is what we're asking. Right? You're saying, I want a strong, confident dude. Well, like, what are the spaces for a strong, confident dude to do that? You got your headphones in the gym. We've talked about this, on the early episodes. He taps you while you're working out, asks you out right then and there. How's that?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just think that because there's so much slow play and because there's so much research that people do, I think that most people right now, just like they don't like commitment, they don't like not knowing things. Like you said earlier, everyone's searching for answers. Mm-hmm. I want to think you're the answer before I go find out. How the fuck can you do that unless I sit down and talk to you? Right? Mm-hmm. You want the time, I would assume, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is where I think people are coming from right now. I want the time to go through your Instagram and to see what you look like and what you like to do for fun, because no one trusts anyone anymore with what they say. Because everyone knows that people lie, and so then they go to their social media as if that's not a giant lie fest either.
Exactly. You don't show the bad parts.
I know. But you see what they look like in the daytime, nighttime, dressed up, active. You see different parts of what they like to do, right? And so then after that, you go, wow, I think there's a much higher likelihood that I'm going to like this guy, so I'm going to message him back now. And now I hope he asks me out while we're messaging. I think that's a lot more prevalent now because you have that opportunity not to waste your time and go to dinner. And I mean, from a dude's perspective, one of my other friends, he's in his 50s and he's dating. And he's like, do you know how much money I spend on fucking dates a month to feed a person, 2-3 times a week? Like, he was like, it's a couple $100, man, And a lot of the times, like, we have absolutely nothing in common. And it, like, within 15 minutes, like, this is a waste of fucking time. So I think that's why there's such a gravitational pull toward the phone, to figure out all those what ifs before you decide to go out. But now, because you have all those what ifs already answered, the first date kind of is fucking pointless because the amount of communication. You know fucking everything about the person.
You know where they work.
You know what they do for fun.
You know who they know.
You know their circle. You know their hobbies.
You know they went to Florida like 3 weeks ago.
So what the fuck is the first date then?
I don't know.
It's a hookup. That's what it turned into. All the communication's been done. We figured out we really enjoy each other's conversation. So now let's see if we match physically. Right? And then that's what happens, and then that's what is understood by both sides now. So now if a girl gets asked out, in person, she goes, oh, I'm not sleeping with you. And the dude's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just wanted to get to know you. I didn't want that. I just wanted to but because we've now become so ingrained with the communication before we meet physically that now it's almost meant that when we finally do meet physically, now we're going to do things physically. Because all of the non-physical shit has already been communicated. So is that right? Is that wrong? Does it need to change?
I'd say it needs to change.
It needs to change. Mm-hmm. You'd prefer old school.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why you like working here. Is because you like strong standards and morals and values and principles, and you like what it takes to take the risk of not knowing, and the confidence it requires, and the perseverance to be nervous the day before but don't cancel, right? I mean, that's what happens all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. And I completely agree with you. As much as I completely understand that fucking phone and the draw of not embarrassing yourself, right? Think about for a dude how much courage it takes to walk up to a complete stranger, acknowledge that you see high value in them, and that you would like the opportunity for them to see the value in you, and them say no. Like, for millennia, that fucking plagued men.
See, I'd give it to him. I would not want to do that.
For sure.
I would not want to be the male in that situation.
And that's where there's like this like mutual respect right off the bat. You go, hey, I know how hard it must be to walk up to me. This is not, you're very vulnerable. It's a very vulnerable thing to do right off the bat. So not only have you showed me like your strength, but you also shown me your vulnerability. So if I was a female, to kind of help this whole thing, is don't fucking destroy the dude, right? Don't fucking say, ew, no.
People say that?
Oh, my God. It's because everyone's so used to the phone that just the fact of you being come up to like that already gets an ew, no, get away from me.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. To solve this shit, as the females, I would strongly urge you to do one of the following. Either accept, even though you're a little 6 out of 10, right? You're not feeling him 100%. He's a 6. Figure it out, and at least, you know, be intrigued enough that if there's a potential, give it a chance, and then give him the reason why it's not, if it's not. Because then that's the courage now on you that you have to take the responsibility for, that if you don't like the dude, tell him why. Tell him why. So the dude can listen and be like, wow, I really would love a girl like that. And if she thinks this way of me, let me self-analyze to see if there's some validity to what she's saying. Mm-hmm. Listen, bro, your house is a fucking mess. Like, you eat like a pig. Like, you need some fucking manners. Okay? If he looks at himself and says, fuck that, I like the way that I eat with my hands at a restaurant. I don't give a shit that my shoes don't match, you know? Then he goes, okay, those type of girls aren't for me. Because I like that about myself. But if he had no fucking clue that you gave a shit about the color of his shoes or if he ate with utensils, now he goes, oh shit, like maybe I need to get my shit together and learn how to eat properly with a fork and knife. Right? You've enriched his future life, even though you're not going to be involved in it. So that's your responsibility as a female. If you're going to say no to someone, tell them why. Don't give them the bullshit. Second, if you're going to say no off the bat, at least acknowledge the courage it took to fucking ask, and then the compliment that they gave you for wanting to, right? You can say, hey, listen, I'm either in a committed relationship or I'm not really physically attracted or whatever the fuck, but I really do appreciate you coming up and saying, I take it as a compliment, and that's very kind, and I wish you all the best. Mm-hmm. You know? At least then he's like, okay, well, at least she wasn't a total bitch, and I can try this again with some other person versus having some PTSD from one time that they tried and getting so hard shut down that they're like, I'm just going to live on the internet now for the rest of my life.
How do guys feel about girls asking them out? Like, does that take something away from them?
I've been asked out once in my life. I was at a gym, and the girl asked me out in this exact same way that we were just discussing. You know, we work out at the same time. You know, I think you're really attractive. I think we might have a lot of fun together. Would you like to take me out sometime? Is what she said. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is easy. That was awesome. Are you kidding me? I didn't have to do nothing. And she was attractive, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. My only interaction with this then is the fact that it was absolutely awful because she was incredibly clingy. I tried to end the date like 3 different times. And like, I'm like, oh, hey, I have to go to my mom's house and I have to water the plants. She goes, oh, great. I love watering plants. What? What? 9:30 at night. Like, because I didn't take the responsibility and say, hey, listen, you're just a little clingy, a little bit too much, whatever. I didn't do my part, and that's what I got in return is this girl that just wouldn't leave me alone, right? Does it take anything away? I don't think so, personally. I mean, I'll say it this way. I don't think you'll scare a guy away by asking him out. I'll say that. But if he's not coming up to you, like that is kind of a sign in and of itself, no?
It's true.
So however you initiate the relationship, be pretty sure that you're going to want to do that for the rest of the relationship. So if he doesn't initiate shit, you had to initiate shit, and then you're on his balls all fucking relationship long by, hey, you need to initiate shit. Well, don't be surprised that he doesn't initiate shit because you had to. So that's that situation where you're like, this guy keeps looking at me. We keep smiling at each other. We come at the same time to the gym. He always waves, but he never comes and talks to me. Well, he's a fucking pussy. And you probably don't want to date a pussy. Sorry, he's really attractive, but he's a pussy. And he's probably not going to be a great relationship at that time. And you just have to be okay with that. We talked about with Jackman here, we talked about that a couple non-episodes ago. About like, you just have to let things be what they are sometimes. No matter how much you'd like them to be something else. Like once they show you what they are, like just believe them. you know, no matter how much you think you could turn them into this or you can help them become that. Like, whatever you have to do to start something, just don't be astonished that you have to keep doing that things to keep it alive. You know, fuck, like pretty much anything, right? Oh, hard work's, you know, to build the gym. I shouldn't ever think that hard work isn't going to be required to keep the gym. If it took a lot of hard work to start it, it's going to take hard work to keep it. It's just,
That's
I can't.
Fair point.
Right? If it took whatever it took to, yeah. So you get the point. So back to the original thing about feminine and masculine energy, though, because we're talking about dating. But now how does that all play? Oh, what time we got? 45. All right, we got 15 minutes. I would like to re-emphasize the fact that there is a difference between female energy and masculine energy. Excuse me. And it's not about capabilities, I don't think. And you can tell me from your generational perspective. I don't look at feminine energy and masculine energy as capabilities. I don't look at a female who's strong in her feminine energy saying that she's not capable of pushing a wheelbarrow with rocks, or she's not capable of owning a Fortune 500 company. That's not what I think. What I think of feminine and masculine energy is how are they best suited to support the world, right? So if you and I both own Fortune 500 companies and we're both married, what I need as a male, and maybe this is like a psychological thing, but like I feel most supported when you like quote unquote mother me. When you embrace me, when you make me tender. Like that's how I feel most supported. I don't need you to be a bro. I don't need you to help me carry shit or yell at people, or I need you to give me a space where I can be vulnerable and soft. I need you to give me a space where you love my emotional things that I need to help get through. I need you to be able to not judge me on how much of a man I am because I was able to cry in your arms. I need you to give me that space, because that's what your superpower is you give me the ability to tap into that little piece of me that as a man isn't my strong suit. Okay? So if I come home after, having to be extremely responsible and live by the fire and be fucking pelted with bullets and take responsibility for 500 employees and all this shit, and I come home and you let me sit on the couch and put my head on your shoulder and you just fucking embrace me and give me a kiss on the cheek, like that's what that dude needs. You come home from owning your Fortune 500 company, right? And you have a problem that needs to be solved, and you've got your girlfriends that you talk through with stuff like that, and you come home and I just listen to what you need, and I don't do anything. I just listen to everything that you're saying. You just need to get it out. And then you come to a conclusion where you find something that you need to get done. And without sitting there playing video games for another 4 hours or fucking just going out with my friends, I say, let's go get that shit done. And I help you go get that shit done. And your angst and your anxiety fucking dissipate because the job got done and I helped you get it done. That's what you need the masculine energy for, to get shit done. And if we can team up like that, what the fuck can't you do?
It's true.
Right? And it has nothing to do with your vocation. It has nothing to do with what role you play or who does the laundry or fucking any of that shit. That's why it's called an energy and not a role. It's not a male role and a female role. It's an energy. And we need each other's energy for us to be fucking superpowers. But for some fucking reason, it's like not about that at all. It's about being weak or what job you have or not allowing you to be helped, or guys should never cry, or now it's guys should only cry. Like guys should only be fucking women, not fucking women. You get what I'm saying? Because we should be fucking women. That's just what we do. But when you start saying like, okay, a guy can have both male and female energy, right? So that's a thing that you researched, right? And it said that you can have both. What did it say about that?
It says like when you have both, like your balanced.
Okay.
So like you have that like ambition and the goal, and like you can get stuff done, and but you also are in touch with your feelings, and you can like you allow yourself to feel them and like work them out
No
and
doubt.
communicate them.
No doubt. Do you think that people are capable of being 50-50 both? Or should be 50-50 both?
I think it's possible, but I think it's definitely challenging.
I would agree that it's important to have both.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that any human should be just one of those things, ever. But, again, there's a predisposition to, I think, maybe let's call it 70-30 one of the ways. And then you team up with the 70-30 the other way. And then together you have 100% of both. And that's the whole point of marriage and teaming up with another human being. Mm-hmm. Right? Because if you go gung-ho, and right now all the self-help and all that shit, I can understand how this can happen, is emphasize the fuck out of balance, clarity, peace, be both, be everything. Well, then what do I need anybody for?
Exactly.
I can jerk off on my phone, right? I don't need a physical touch with anybody because I can have an AI fake person pretend to be my girlfriend, right? I can go and so like that's the destruction of what we're doing is we've isolated ourselves so much versus the nature of how things are that we've tried to be everything ourselves and not need anybody. Why? Because it's ambiguous to need somebody else. It's hard to rely on someone else. It takes risk, it takes courage, it takes all these factors that it's a lot easier to get your answers from the fucking phone than to rely on someone's word. I have to know you well enough, trust you hard enough to take your word as strongly as what the internet fucking shows me. Somehow I trust that fucking device who proves to me constantly all day long that all it does, it lies. And yet I have to research what you say versus research what it tells me. You know? So in order to like undo all this fucking mess, I think that's the route we go, is we start being very understanding with our energies and be okay with them, and then realize that it's okay to have the other in our partner. And together, that's how you fucking dominate things. But it doesn't mean, it has nothing to do with strength or weakness. I don't know where the fuck that came from. The damsel in distress and all that. You know, if you exaggerate it, sure. So like if you're the CEO and I come and help you with something, right? And then like now in order to make me like feel more like a man because my ego maybe is hurt, you pretend you need help with something that you don't really need help with. And then I get mad if you ever do it yourself because I'm the man and I'm supposed, like, that's when that shit gets unhealthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? But if you truly need help with something and you ask me to help you, but anything you can do on your own, you try. Like, that's why it's going to impress me as your partner. Me watching you fucking try. Me watching you try to do it yourself and give it your best shot. And then asking me for help, because that means you truly not only need my help, but you trust me to help you because you've tried it on your own. The things that also get fucked up, I think, are when you like artificially create these energies within one another. So if I see you as let's say my partner, and you don't fucking try anything, and you come to me constantly for everything. Hey, can you change this light bulb? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? Hey, shit that I know you can fucking do yourself. Mm-hmm. Now I don't feel like we're a partnership. Now I feel like you're fucking using me. Like I'm just a provider and that's it. Right? So it's like being honest with yourself, with what your capabilities are, and then doing those capabilities to their fullest potential. Mm-hmm. And then the things that you can't do, then rely on that one person to help you through it. Right? So like if I'm going to try to be emotionally available as much as I can. I'm going to try to work through my emotions. I'm going to try to, work through my sadness. I'm going to try to do everything I can to make sure I stay strong for you. But that moment where I go, I'm about to break down. Like I literally, like I'm about to fuck stuff up because I just need to cry or I need to do this. I need to come to you and be like, you know, and just put my head on your shoulder. And then you need to just fucking embrace the shit out of me at that point. Right? Not be like, you know, suck it up. Because I promise you, we've tried to suck it up 1,000 times before we did that. Or at least we should have. So if we can get back to that sort of society, I think a lot of these games and all this stupid shit will kind of die off. Because no one will be no one will be impressed with it anymore. Mm-hmm. Like you see through it immediately. You like the old school way because all these new things, you're like, this is empty and stupid. Right? Mm-hmm. You call them grenades because they'll fuck your life up.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's cool. I like that a lot. I don't know if that's what you meant when you first asked me the question, all of that shit we just discussed, but
I mean, it's good insight.
Yeah. Well, give me a summary. What do you think? What are your thoughts? You know, do you agree? Do you disagree? Wrap it up for us.
I would say that it's better to be balanced as a partnership than you're by yourself. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you can do all of these things and you're in touch with this, like, your feelings, and then your partner can do the opposite things, like, that's what's going to make a better partnership.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think you need to be...
Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can say no.
No, I do. My parents have been married for 30 years. And you can, like, to this day, you can still see, like, where one of them lacks, the other picks up.
Yeah.
So, like, I think I've always strived for that, but also I never saw what it took to build that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So, like, now that I'm getting older and figuring it out, I'm like, this is so much work.
Oh, hell yeah, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of the work is in maintaining your boundaries. Mm-hmm. Like, because everything constantly is going to tear down your walls or try to tear. Every person you meet, every interaction you have, everything you build, everything is just energy. And we as people are trying to harness it to do something. So we ourselves are the ones that put up these walls to try to direct the energy. But as you create walls, what do you create? Pressure against the wall. So your whole duty, your whole life is to just maintain the back pressure of the boundaries you create. Mm-hmm. That's it. Parenting, leadership, relationships, everything is just keeping your fucking boundaries. That's it. If you can keep that, like, eventually the energy will flow and it won't bounce off your walls so much. Like, so you see your parents 30 years down, like, it's like an unspoken rule what each of them do and how they do it, right? It's because in the beginning there was so much bouncing off the fucking walls that your mom demanded what she demanded, your dad demanded what he demanded. They both opposed it at some point. The demand stayed. They both got accepted, and then that's just how they understand how to do shit together now. You know? And it's not chores. I think everyone gets so wrapped up in, like, the to-dos. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, the woman should cook and clean and this and that. Listen, a way to tell me that you love me and that you care about how hard I've worked, yes. If you prepare me a meal and feed me after I've worked my fucking ass off or this. But that goes both ways. I'm not saying that because I, a man, worked hard, I deserve a meal. And if you, a female, work hard, you don't deserve a meal. I'm just saying, like, that's a way. So cooking, cleaning, laundry, household chores, these types of things, they're not the tasks that make you a man or a female. It's the energy. So do with that what you will, you know. I know plenty of households that, like, divvy up the tasks evenly. I know plenty of households where the guy's salary covers everything that house needs, so the female stays at home, so then she makes household things her job. Mm-hmm. That's what she does, you know, and that's the expectation, and that's fine. And I've seen the other way where the girl's at work making all the money, the guy stays at home and he does all the house. But they treat each thing, you know, the energies are still there. Mm-hmm. Just because the dude's at home doesn't make him now the emotional one or the one that's supposed to help you cry. He's still the one that gets shit done. You know, she just also gets shit done at work, but she's still the emotional one. Like, it's the energy. It's not what you fucking do. So, yeah. Interesting. And I hope the generations coming up kind of start figuring that out, because my generation and this gap from mine to yours, I think, have really fucked that up a lot. I
would agree.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is, hold on. Moral of the story is, grow some balls. Walk up to the lady. Mm-hmm. Be respectful. Ask her out.
Get off your phone.
Get off your fucking phone. Moral of the story for females is, don't be a bitch. Acknowledge the compliment. Kindly deny them. Or give them a chance and be honest why it doesn't work. And then we all learn shit better. Girls be girls. Boys be boys. Cool?
Cool.
See ya.
Bye, guys.